Okay, it's great to speak today with Leonid Boguslavsky, co-founder and chairman at Super League Triathlon. Leonid, how are you doing?
Great, thank you very much.
Good.
Yeah,
Well, it's great to have you on board. We've never really had someone of your stature on one of our recordings, so this is a fantastic opportunity. Perhaps you could tell us a bit about you and your background, if that's okay. I appreciate you've got a tremendous career behind you. It'd be great to hear a bit about you, if that's okay.
yes, with pleasure. So, yeah, it's like I was thinking that I'm living several lives because initially my career started as a scientist. So I graduated as a computer scientist, and for about 17 years I was involved in academic research. It was mostly around computer networks, and I
Right.
was studying what later on became internet.
Yeah.
So then I started entrepreneurial life, and then after entrepreneurial life, I started the life of investor, and now for 20 years I'm venture capital guy. So that's my background. But just to move to sport side, it's interesting that, and that's real. That it's truth. That when I was a kid, I was dreaming to create a new sport discipline.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and so interestingly, when we started to discuss how we can shape up triathlon with my partners, Chris McCormack and Michael Hurst. So we came to the formats which will be interesting for media because the traditional triathlon is a bit boring and it's not for media. Yeah, but really, I would say a new sport appeared when we created arena games.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah. Yeah. So
and
just before we get on to arena games, because I want to hear a lot about arena games actually. But how did you come to meet Chris and Michael? How did that group of three get together and Super League Triathlon came about?
um, I started I started my training in triathlon. By the way, never been trained before by a
Okay.
coach. It was my first day of training happening when I was 62 years old. Could you believe in it? Yeah, and it happened because I read a book, of, Chris' book, I'm Here to Win. And I decided to check my endurance. So I went to the regular gym with a swimming pool. I didn't know that there are short distances like sprint. I thought that the shortest distance is Olympic distance. I couldn't swim freestyle. I was not on the bike since school, but I survived. So I finished, and I was so happy that I've done it that I decided to get some training and to see uh, how better I could be if after such certain training. And this is how I started triathlon. And
Okay.
it was actually uh, pretty interesting, and I would say successful career for the guy of my age. And even this year, uh, 2021 was already pretty good for Super League and for myself. So, for example, I just want to highlight this that Super League was able to successfully run championship series with races at iconic venues, London, Munich, and we had like London, Munich, and we had a grand final in Malibu,
Yeah.
California. By the way, we acquired Malibu Triathlon to get to North American market with the Super League Triathlon. So it was important for us. to start from iconic place. And this year we had 5,000 participants for the traditional Malibu Triathlon, and on the side we had the grand final of Super League Triathlon, where all Tokyo Olympics medalists participate. And by the way, we raised $1 million for the kids oncology hospital in Los Angeles because of this event. And even for myself, I personally done 4 long distances this year with 2 full Ironman.
Oh, very cool.
And I qualified for World Championships for both 2021 and 2022.
Well, congratulations.
And I'm going to do them coming year because 21 was moved to
Yes, of course, it's into early next year. Yeah. So, no, well, fascinating. I mean, that's an amazing achievement. So yeah, you obviously we mentioned Arena Games. You had the Arena Games during the pandemic, which was quite a spectacle. I think it was a really interesting way of adapting to the pandemic. Obviously, Rotterdam, if I'm correct, you had the event running, and now you've got together with international governing body World Triathlon, and you have this new Esports Triathlon World Championship. So perhaps you could sort of outline your hopes and your expectations for this new initiative.
Yeah, it was very new, and I would say as a pilot we actually have done 3 races. So we've done Rotterdam twice, and we've done London.
Yeah.
So and it came out to be very interesting for media because we've been broadcasted for more than 150 countries globally because of dynamic and excitement of this new format. And we proved that's very interesting, and this is I'm considering this as a new sport, which has certain good advantages, benefits, because it's indoor, it doesn't depend on the weather, and we can do it any time during the year, and also the sport, international sport, is moving in a way that to get some esport flavor, I would say, esport flavor, and we already have it because of our partner Zwift on the software platform on which we are running this, and people just like it. It's like a virtual world, avatars, and at the same time they're really doing pretty tough races.
And so do you see this as something that could boost participation or awareness of the sport? Because as you say, you see Super League as very much creating a new sport. So you have triathlon and you've evolved and adapted triathlon. Do you see that esports would be a way of broadening an awareness of triathlon in general? Is that how you see its role, or are you looking at it much more, as you mentioned, as a broadcast opportunity?
No, it's actually both, because I think that, for sure, because I already know that there are certain clubs which are starting to practice arena games in a swimming pool, putting trainers and treadmills, on the side of the swimming pool, and they start to do certain competitions, events. I think that it's, to a certain extent, it's easy, and because of this virtual element, because it's like virtual reality, because of courses, because of avatars of the participants. It's like a game, and for the young people, for kids, for new generation, I think it will be growing pretty fast.
Yeah, because I think triathlon might have a bit of a problem in terms of real world triathlon, as you say, events in North America, in Europe in particular. They're often it's often seen as a bit of an old man sport, actually, myself included, as a bit of an old man. I think that participation in many events around the world does seem to be dominated by older male athletes who might have an 80-20 male female split, and the age group is generally mid to late 40s and above. So we're not really seeing triathlon attract young audience. So do you genuinely believe that the shift to virtual, as a guy with your internet background, do you think the shift to virtual for triathlon will help bring these younger athletes on board?
Yes, this is what I said, because partially it's like a game. They can race with their friends, which are far away, and like it's already happening in the cycling, in the running, but in triathlon, it's even making easier. For example, school, which has a swimming pool, right? They can start doing this as a new interesting activity for students.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that, as you say, that's an interesting way of doing it. So do you almost see this sort of arena games format being rolled out to different venues like youth clubs or local sports centres and schools, as you say, with swimming pools? I think it would be a really interesting development to certainly see that. It's something you think will be coming very soon?
Yeah, sure. You know that before this virtual world came, before the platforms like Zwift appeared, there have been attempts and there have been races where around swimming pools. So, but outdoor. Even, like we even evaluated an option to, coming to a iconic city, let's say, a very good city venue, but there is no lake or river, there is no open water. So we can put a swimming pool, let's say 50, we just can assemble 50-meter swimming pool, and then have our short distances, on real bikes and, running courses, things like that. But it's difficult. It's the arena games where you are doing everything indoor, actually in a swimming pool, is much easier. But the issue before was that participants, if we would do this like before, let's say Zwift and other platforms appeared, then participants, competitors, they don't see each other.
Yeah.
They don't know who is first. They don't know what's the pace of the competitor. But with these new technologies, they know everything. They even know exactly the wattage of their main competitors. They know the pace. When the competitors, how competitor run. It's a different game. It's very interesting.
Yeah, no, definitely, as you say, and it's also very broadcast friendly, and as you also mentioned, easier from a broadcast perspective, because you have your arena, whereas, as you say, triathlon's arena is traditionally outdoors, and one which is more challenging to manage with things like the weather and so on, whether that's hot summers or storms and that kind of thing. So yeah, I can totally understand that. If we
And
just
go
ahead.
And on top of this, you can create a show elements there. You can do music, you can do lighting, you can do a lot of things, because it's within within a swimming pool. It's indoor, so you can also color it. I would say in many different ways, so that for spectators and for media, it will become even more interesting because it will be a show.
Yeah, no, definitely. And so I suppose and as you say, then it's much more spectator and fan friendly. And I think I get the sense that this is certainly something that Super League is really pushing, is the concept of the triathlon fan. And traditionally with triathlon, the fan is always the participant. So do you expect to see with, let's say, football, soccer, where the fan is often not actually a participant? They're a fan, they follow their team, they follow their favorite players, and they may not actually play football. Do you see that this is something that triathlon will have an opportunity to create as well, a fan and an audience that's bigger than the participant base?
Yes, because you know that before, especially for the long distance triathlon, the fans or spectators were also triathletes, family and friends. Mostly it's family and friends of the participants and people who are triathletes. So now having a stadium like a big swimming pools, it's like a swimming centers. They have a stadium and inside, and it's another game also because people will love to come, to see, to have this, to watch the races, competition at the same time. It's a show. They can come like a family with small kids, and then kids will love it, and kids then will try to do also, swim
Yeah.
bike.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's a really exciting time, as you say, that the timing seems right. In obviously, it was a terrible thing that the pandemic's happened, but it's forced you to think differently as a business. I suppose as a sort of final question in light of the pandemic, we're about to enter into 2022. And we've had in North America and in Europe, particularly the more what we might call mature triathlon markets, there has been, obviously a shock. This is, the pandemic has really caused quite a shock. A number of events have perhaps just decided, this is, game over. I think my question, I suppose, is: do you see the future as a promising one? Can we, come back and bounce back from this difficulty with the pandemic, over and above Super League and what you're doing in terms of, as you say, you're looking to do Kona yourself, and do the World Championships? Do you see businesses like Ironman, Challenge Family, other race organisers out there? Do you see them building momentum as well as Super League, or do you feel that those traditional businesses, if you like, will be more challenged?
No, first of all, we saw that the mass participation events are slowly picking up during this year, 2021. So there will be more, I think, in 2022. But I don't think that we'll completely rid of pandemic issues, in coming year. I think there will be certain restrictions still, and for how long, I cannot predict. So for the athletes, both pros and age groupers, I think that there will be many races, but for spectators, there will be certain restrictions still in the coming year. So eventually, maybe in 2023, it will be again much better, and it will be, let's say, at the same level as before pandemic. But I'm expecting it not before
Sure.
2023.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it will come out. Of course, people. It's already seen even this year that people are hungry. Being locked in 2020 and not participating in the sport they love. So for participants, I think there will be no issue. But for spectators, there will be not. It will not be so flexible, and I think because of this, so media has a certain benefit, and will get advantage because of this. Because people who love triathlon, they will be watching broadcast.
Yeah, I see, and I see what you mean. That the ripple in the pond will take a while, but as you say, at least media will have that more important role. Yeah, no, I totally
media
understand.
will have more important role. Yeah, and we see this, now for already 2 years. So since 2020, we see that there are more and more eyeballs, viewers, on the media. I mean for sport events.
Yeah, no, definitely. We're all hungry to get out there, and but also hungry to watch the action as well. Well, I just want to say thank you ever so much for your time, Leonid. It's been a real pleasure speaking with you. Wishing you all the best with Super League Triathlon going forwards, and we'll see how things shape up into next year. Thanks again for your time.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.